Most of the ancient cities that still exist today are a mix of old and new, a testament to the site's longevity and continued importance. Cities in the ancient world developed along important travel routes and trade networks where practical and useful geographic features best served people's needs. For example, ancient cities in Greece color the peninsula in the Mediterranean. In India, ancient cities are located along rivers and banks and are ideal places for agriculture and civilization to flourish. The following cities are reminiscent of history and change. The world's oldest cities are scattered across the globe, and while the oldest inhabited cities vary in age from continent to continent, each place has a unique beauty to its wonder and history. This list is an inexact science because the composition of cities is technically imprecise, but these examples are intended to provide very different views of the ancient world that still exist in various forms. Welcome to Story Time. Before we start, we noticed that a lot of our viewers are not yet subscribed to our channel. Don't be shy and click the subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. Now let's proceed with the video. Number 16. Gaziantep, Turkey. The modern city of Gaziantep is built settlements that date to roughly 4000 BCE. The city is also known as Antip, a Hittite word that means king's land. Located in southeastern Turkey, Gaziantep went back and forth from Byzantine to Turkish occupation throughout the Middle Ages, finally brought under the authority of the Ottoman Empire during the 16th century. Number 15. Luoyang, China. Luoyang, strategically located where the Yi and Luo rivers, was the center of land and water transportation during the Zhou dynasty. Luoyang was a thriving capital by 771 BCE and held prominence as a site of political and economic importance during the Han Dynasty. Luoyang later served as an on and off capital city for the Sui and Tang dynasties from the 6th through the 10th centuries BCE. While Luoyang is one of China's oldest cities, nearby Yanqi dates back even further. Evidence of Bronze Age settlements at Yanqi trace back to roughly 16,000 BCE. Number 14. Mentioned in the earliest written works from Crete, residents of the city of Chania, formerly known as Kydonia, are also referenced in Homer's Odyssey. According to Herodotus, writing during the 5th century BCE, Chania was founded by Greeks c. 524 BCE. Centuries later, Romans conquered the island of Crete, and Chania grew as an essential seaport. Chania changed hands throughout the medieval period, held by Byzantines, Muslims, Venetians, and Ottomans before being occupied by German forces during World War II. Number 13. Varanasi, India. Another of the 7 sacred cities of Hinduism, Varanasi sits on the banks of the Ganges River, also known as Kasi or Banaras. Varanasi holds importance for Buddhists as a location near where Buddha gave his first sermon. The destruction of Hindu temples under Muslim rule resulted in economic, cultural, and political decline in Varanasi, although its affiliation with the Shiva and spiritual all never diminished. After visiting Varanasi during the late 19th century, Mark Twain was said to have called the city older than history, older than tradition, older even than legend. Number 12. Ujjain, India. As one of 7 holy cities of Hinduism, Ujjain is a sacred pilgrimage site with origins that trace back to roughly 700 BCE. Located on the Malwa Plateau, Ujjain also served as a commercial and political center, home to one of Emperor Ashoka's 4 viceroys during the 3rd century BCE. Called Ozine by Greek historian Arrian, the city passed into the hands of the Magadha kingdom in 400 BCE and was later held under Islamic rule. Number 11. Pataliputra, India. Now called Patna, Pataliputra was built near the Ganges River in India in 490 BCE. Pataliputra served as the capital city for the Magadha kingdom, and was called Azimabad under the Mughal Empire. According to lore, the Buddha once traveled by Pataliputra, opining that, among famous palaces, busy marts and emporiums, Pataliputra will be the greatest. Sources from the 4th century BCE note the city's beautiful architecture, built in a way that no human hands of this world could accomplish, while observers from the following century stated the city was run through an efficient form of self-governance. Number 10. Quito, Ecuador. Quito serves as the capital of Ecuador and is considered one of the best preserved historic sites in South America. While archaeological evidence indicates hunter-gatherer activity in the vicinity of Quito, before 8000 BCE, the city itself built on the remains of an Incan settlement during the 16th century. Number 9. Cholula, Mexico. As a main settlement within the Puebla civilization, Cholula was built in central Mexico sometime between 800 and 200 BCE. Cholula later served as home to the Olmec, peoples who built a great pyramid at the site. Although Cholula was more or less abandoned after 800 BCE, it is considered the oldest city in Mexico continuously inhabited by humans. Mayan, Aztec, and Spanish occupiers built and rebuilt in and around the city, which now serves as the capital of the Puebla state. Number 8. Benin City, Nigeria. Younger than its counterparts in the Middle East and Asia, Benin City in Nigeria, the main city of the Edo Kingdom. Built sometime before or during the 12th century, Benin City was destroyed by British forces during the late 19th century. Once home to massive walls that rivaled the length of the Great Wall of China and consumed 100 times more material than the Great Pyramid of Cheops, Benin City is known for its bronze, ivory, and wooden works of art. Number 7. Plovdiv, Bulgaria. When Philip II of Macedonia captured a small Thracian settlement in 342 BCE, he named it Philippopolis, one of the earliest names for Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Occupied as early as 6000 BCE, Plovdiv also served as home to Romans, Slavs, Byzantines, and Ottomans. The multicultural influences on Plovdiv can be seen in the city's food, wine, architecture, and culture. Number 6. Athens, Greece. Rivaled only by Argos, a city that has existed for as many as 7,000 years. The first mention of Athens in history dates from roughly 16,000 BCE. Holding distinction as the oldest capital city in Europe, Athens is considered home to Western intellectualism and artistic culture. Once the dominant city-state in Greece, Athens declined after the Peloponnesian War and fell to the Macedonians in 338 BCE. Number 5. Kabul, Afghanistan. Kabul, the capital city of Afghanistan, has been under the authority of some of the most prolific leaders in history. Mentioned in Hindu scripture, Kabul was established by 15,000 BCE, conquered by Persian ruler Darius I during the 5th century BCE, and became part of Alexander the Great's empire during the 4th century BCE. Kabul was later seized by Mongols, and Kabul served as the capital of the Mughal dynasty in India for a time in the early 16th century. Near constant warfare over the past century and a half has led to concerted efforts to protect the archaeology, history, and culture of Kabul by Afghani officials and global agencies. Number 4. Byblos, Lebanon. As a port city, Byblos was called Jebel by its Phoenician occupants. Occupied during the Neolithic period, Byblos grew from a fishing village to a thriving hub of trade, largely thanks to Greek and Egyptian merchant activity. The name Byblos derives from the Greek word for papyrus. Byblos, one of the main exports that came out of the port, home to religious and military buildings built over thousands of years. Byblos is now called Jebel. Number 3. Aleppo, Syria. Strategically located between the Mediterranean Sea and Mesopotamia, Aleppo, Syria, is believed to have been inhabited during the Bronze Age, perhaps as early as 36,000 6000 BCE. High ground and access to the Quake River made Aleppo an ideal settlement, one that was ruled by Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, and Ottomans through the early 20th century. Damascus, the capital of modern-day Syria, is also one of the oldest continually inhabited cities in existence, with its founding dating back to the 3rd millennium BCE. Number 2. Jericho, West Bank. Sometimes called the oldest city in the world, Jericho, the site of biblical and modern significance alike. Occupied as early as 9000 BCE, Jericho serves as one of the earliest settlements on the planet. Archaeological evidence indicates walls around the site were built roughly 8000 BCE as cultivation and communities took shape, governed by groups such as the Persians, Romans, and Ottomans. Throughout its long history, Jericho is now under the authority of Palestine. Number 1. Luxor, Egypt. Previously known as Wasit and Thebes, Luxor sits atop ruins that date to roughly 15,000 BCE. Once the capital of Egypt, Luxor is located on the Nile River and is associated with the god Ammon. Luxor is often referred to as the City of 100 Gates and is made up of 3 distinct sections: the main city along the east bank of the Nile, the ancient city on the west bank, and the temple area known as Karnak to the north. In 2021, archaeologists presented findings of a lost golden city that dates to the reign of Amenhotep III. The find has been called second most important archaeological discovery since the tomb of Tutankhamun. It's really amazing that we can still see or visit such wonderful cities. If you like the video and are interested in the history and other interesting facts, we welcome you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos.